Reb Chaim Yona was one of the Choshevet Mimim in Lubavitch. He was a big Oived who davened for many hours a day. And he was also very into being Hatzna Leches, to hide his great Avodah. His Seder was, when he learned in the branch of Temchet Mimim that was in Ish he would daven every day with great arichus, very long. He will start davening with everyone, with the minyan. And after the minyan finished, he will stay in the zal in the corner and continue to daven. And during davening, he would sing with tremendous dveikus, chassidische nigunim. And because of his great dveikus, he didn't notice anything around him. Chaim Kesselman related that section in the yeshiva that was in Shtedrin was supervised by the chassid Reb Shaul Ber Zislin, which was from the Talmidim of the Mashpia Reb Shmuel Groinam. In Lubavitch, it was known that Reb Groinam highlighted mainly the avodah of the cheshbon nefesh b'krisha sh'alamita. However, Reb Shilem, the Mashgiach, would be mechanech his Talmidim to highlight avodas atfila during the day. Since Reb Shaul Ber Zislin was a Talmid of Reb Groinam, so he was mainly influenced by Reb Groinam, he highlighted mainly the avodah of Krishma Shalamita. So Reb Shaul Ber Zislin once asked Chaim Yona, why do you daven with so much mirirus, with so much bitterness? When Chaim Yona told me, says Reb Shlomo Chaim, years later when he told me about what Shaul Ber Zislin asked him, why do you daven with so much bitterness? He was surprised and he said, bitterness? I'm not sure what he's talking about. It was tainug, it was pleasure. Another thing Reb Shlomo Chaim related, that once Reb Chaim Yona, when he was a bacher, he came to Lubavitch and he asked the Gabbai for Yechidus by the Rebbe Rashab. The Gabbai didn't want to let him in because he was a young bacher. So Chaim Yona wrote a note to the Rebbe Rashab and he asked the Gabbai to deliver it to the Rebbe Rashab. When the Rebbe Rashab got the note, he right away told the Gabbai to let Chaim Yona in. During that Yechidus, the Rebbe Rashab asked him, are there more Bachrim in your branch of the yeshiva who daven ba'avodah like you? And generally, said Reb Shlomo Chaim, there were quite a few things that show that the Rebbe Rashab had tremendous nachas from his whole Seder. Reb Fala Khan related that Chaim Yona was first, when he came to Lubavitch, he learned in the Shiurim, which was the younger section. However, after a little while, when he tasted the taste of Chassidus, him and a few of his friends started making their own Seder of davening many hours and being mizbanen each day, which was different than the Seder that was set for the rest of the Talmidim. At that time, it was under the supervision of Reb Shilem Disner. And Reb Shilem told the Rebbe Rashab all about this, that there's this group of Bachrim who are having their own Seder. And Reb Shilem was surprised to see that the Rebbe Rashab is sticking up for Chaim Yona. So Reb Shimon wondered and he asked the Rebbe Rashab, why do you admire Chaim Yona so much? So the Rebbe Rashab said, you don't know him. Reb Shlomo Chaim Kesselman related that Chaim Yona, while he was misbeinen by davening, he forced himself to walk back and forth. And after davening, when he finished davening, he would force himself to stand in one spot for a while. Why? Because he wanted to do his skafia. And his skafia is to go against your natural desire. Since when a person is misbeinen, he's contemplating one thought, by nature he wants to stay in one spot. So therefore he forced himself to walk around. And after davening, when a person is not focused on one thought, naturally a person wants to move around. So he forced himself to stay in one spot. Rabbi Yisrael Jacobson related that my friend Chaim Yona Lutzki davened very long every day and learned a lot of Chassidus. And he influenced quite a few of his friends that they should be noyhag like him, they daven long every day. And it is during that period of time that the Rebbe Rashab once commented to their mashpia, Reb Shaul Ber Zislin, and he told him, your Talmidim are coming to me for Yechidus with Shilas of Rabbi Binyamin Kletzker. Reb Shlomo Chaim Kesselman once said that Chaim Yona was baki, he was fluent in all the ma'amorim of the Rebbe Rashab, word for word. And he explained that it wasn't because he forced himself to learn them Baal Peh. Rather, it came to him naturally, because his level of understanding Chassidus was on such a high level that the Rebbe Rashab himself expressed himself about Chaim Yona that he's on the level of Pnimius Bina, which is a very high level of understanding Chassidus. So b'meila, he remembered every mimer word for word. Reb Nachum Goldschmidt once related that when we were young Bachrim, there were rumors going around that Chaim Yona is a tremendous maskil in Chassidus. However, nobody was able to deny it or to prove it, because Chaim Yona was very hatzna leches, and he never showed off, and he never spoke to anybody about in Chassidus. I tried a few times to walk over to him and ask him shalas in Chassidus, but I couldn't get him to speak. So one day I was walking down the street and I saw Chaim Yona walking slowly and trying to carry 2 heavy suitcases. So I decided to use that opportunity. And I told him, I see that you need help with the suitcases. Let's make a deal. I will carry the suitcases for you. And as a payment, you're going to talk to me in Chassidus for 1 hour. So Chaim Yona didn't have a choice and he agreed. And Reb Nachum said that hour was unbelievable. The explanations of Chassidus I heard from Chaim Yona were amazing. But exactly when it was 60 minutes on the clock, Chaim Yona stopped and he said, that's it, it's an hour, and that's it. It is known that by some of the Rebbeim, when they would say a Maimer, they had somebody standing right across from them, and they would look into their eyes. And that's how it was by the Rebbe Rashab. The Frierdiker Rebbe would stand in the front of the Rebbe Rashab, and they would look into each other's eyes the whole time. And when the Frierdiker Rebbe would be out of town, Chaim Yona will take him over. Reb Shlomo Chaim once related that as a result from the fact that Chaim Yona would daven very long every day, eventually that affected his health, and he became very weak. Because of that, the doctor told him that he's not allowed to daven ba'avodah anymore. He can't daven for so many hours, it's affecting his health. And he was forced to daven with a minyan. However, not somebody like Chaim Yona will give up on the whole inyan of avodah and his beinanus. So therefore, if the doctor said that he can't daven, he moved the whole entire beinanus to Krishma Shalamito. He will lay down in his bed and he will think Chassidus the whole entire night. And when he wake up in the morning, usually his pillow will be soaking from tears. Reb Fala Khan once related, in the year of Tafresh Ayin Zayin, Reb Chaim Yona became very sick. And he lived then in the house of Reb Avraham Fradkin. And the Rebbe Nishma Sayed, meaning the Rebbe Rashab, asked Reb Avraham, the host, that he should every day bring to the Rebbe Rashab a detailed report of how Chaim Yona is doing, his exact temperatures. Things became worse and worse until the professor who was taking care of him gave up on Chaim Yona's life, and he stopped taking care of him. They brought another professor who also eventually gave up. So when Reb Avraham went into the Rebbe Rashab to report that both of these professors gave up on Chaim Yona, you were able to tell that the Rebbe Rashab was quite upset, and he said, such a big professor and such a big fool? A doctor was only given permission to heal. He's not a balabas over a person's life. And the Rebbe Rashab said that he should call a third professor who lived in a nearby village. And when that professor came and he heard what the first 2 professors said, he said that there's no point of me even going. And he didn't want to go try to take care of Chaim Yona. Only after a lot of begging and after the Rebbe Rashab himself gave him his own kittel to wear while he's taking care of Chaim Yona, he agreed to go see Chaim Yona. And he found a certain medicine that was able to heal Chaim Yona, and he was healed. When he said someone to bring the medicine and he brought it, it was very hard to give Chaim Yona the medicine to take it because it was very, very bitter. And it was very hard for Chaim Yona to swallow it. So the doctor went to the Rebbe Rashab and told him about it. So the Rebbe Rashab wrote a note to Chaim Yona that is commanding him to swallow the medicine. And when Chaim Yona saw the note, he swallowed the medicine. After the tacos of the Rebbe Rashab, once the Rebbe Rashab came to Chaim Yona in a dream, and he told him a deep biur in Chassidus, explanation in Chassidus. Chaim Yona didn't think that was anything special, and therefore he did not make a secret out of it. And he told somebody about it. And eventually the rumors went around that Chaim Yona had the Rebbe Rashab come to him in a dream and explain him Chassidus. Eventually, the Rebbetzin Sarah heard about it, and she told her son, the Frierdiker Rebbe, about it. And the Frierdiker Rebbe called Chaim Yona over, and he told him, and he was upset, and he told him that you should know that the Rebbe Rashab could have kept coming to you. But since you advertised it, people found out about it, you ruined it, and he's not going to come to you anymore. Shlomo Chaim once related that after my wedding, for a while, I didn't have any kids. And also my friend, Chaim Yona, didn't have any kids. My friend Chaim Yona lived next to the oil of the Rebbe Rashab in Rostov. But I lived far from there. So Chaim Yona would go every Erev Rosh Chodesh to the oil and daven for kids for himself and for me. One day I got a letter from Chaim Yona, and he wrote in the letter, you should know that last Erev Rosh Chodesh I went to the oil, and that night I had a dream that the Rebbe came to me in a dream, and he said, in regards to your davening about having a kid, your tefillah was niskabel, and soon you're going to have a child. And about your friend, meaning Shlomo Chaim, he already had a Yeshua. So I'm asking you, writes Chaim Yona in the letter to Shlomo Chaim, please let me know if your wife is actually already pregnant. If so, I will know that the dream was a real dream, and I will know that the bracha that I was given will also be fulfilled. And v'kach hava, says Shlomo Chaim, my wife was then discovered to be pregnant. In that same letter, Reb Chaim Yona also said that the Rebbe told me another thing, that I don't want to write it in a letter, and next time I will see you, I'll tell you what the Rebbe told me. But next time I saw him, said Shlomo Chaim, he refused to tell me what the Rebbe Rashab told him. Before Khan once related that in the Simchas Torah Farbrengen of Tofresh Pei Daled, the Fidik Rebbe said, there is a younger man standing here, and he's thinking to himself that if my father, meaning the Rebbe Rashab, will still be alive, he would ask him for a bracha, for a ben zachar, for a son. And he's thinking to himself, how could he ask me for a bracha? So he should know that this year he's going to have a son. Now the Fidik Rebbe didn't say who he's talking to, but all the people present understood that he's talking about Chaim Yona. After Pesach, the Fidik Rebbe moved to Leningrad, and one day Reb Chaim Yona came to him, and he asked him for a bracha for a son. So the Fidik Rebbe was surprised and he said, you still don't have a son? So Chaim Yona said no. So the Fidik Rebbe thought for a little bit, and then he said, actually you do have a son already. And when Chaim Yona came back home, he discovered that his wife is pregnant. We'll finish off with the niggin of Yud Beis Tammuz that was composed by Reb Aaron Charitonov. Reb Aaron Charitonov composed this niggin when the Fidik Rebbe was in jail. And the first two parts of the niggin describe the taina of hayitochen, of how come such a thing happened. And the last part of the niggin, it brings out the bitachon and the tikva and the hope and the starkheit that everything will end up all good.
Mama